new episode. So, anyway, I really didn't have anything planned out for what this new episode is going to be about. So anyway, I felt like talking basically Batman. Read a couple articles that I didn't get to read about yesterday. Such as comic stores are getting Walmart's Batman Giant #4 from DC this week. Which I wish I could get that one. I've been reading the new Batman Giant restarts, and I like the original run that happened with Batman Hush and Bendis's Batman story, which oddly was kind of good, kind of entertaining. Makes me glad he's not writing the Batman series, because God, he would ruin that fucking run. They also have like other Batman Giants, #4. They got like different Batman Giant 4 books. Tying in with the original cover and back cover, including the Walmart advertisement. The other one is from Diamond, image from Diamond, and the new one, which has Talon on the cover for the Walmart one. So that's pretty cool. So for me, it's kind of interesting. So far, not much is happening. I did not get to watch Monday Night Raw. I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like torturing myself anymore. I would tell you, I've not seen Monday Night Raw. I didn't get to see the Triple H 25th anniversary, which is I did get to see. Like I'll take it back. I did get to see the Vince McMahon, the clip with Vince McMahon, and I will say he looks fucking old. But at the same time, I mean, like I don't want to, trash on Vince McMahon or anything. I feel bad for him. A lot of it's been kind of rough for him. The XFL, of course, shutting down. Which is weird, though. I don't know how it failed. I mean, you can't really say it failed. It was successful. It was a very successful run. I don't know why he all of a sudden was like, it failed, we're bankrupt, blah, 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 we're done. Unless he did something shady that people were catching him doing. Like, I don't know, hypothetically taking the money from the XFL and the Fox deal, where they were going to give actual sports, which is the XFL, and taking the money from that and siphon it into the WWE. Unless he did that, which I don't know if he did, but the XFL thing, what bothered me with it was he basically quit. He basically quit, threw in the towel, and he was done. A lot of the games were really good. A lot of them were really fun and entertaining, especially the St. Louis ones. Like, the Battlehawks were fucking awesome. Like, it was awesome. Like, I was looking forward to, like, going to a Battlehawks game. I was looking forward to it. I've been to, like, one Rams football game, and that was at the end of the final year. and it sucked. No, wait, it wasn't the final. No, it wasn't the final year. Bradford was still quarterback. My bad. It was when they were playing against the Jets, when the Jets had Tim Tebow. But the Rams just was awful. Like, and the thing I think why I loved the Battlehawks was they gave a damn. They went out there, they played their guts out. They gave a damn. They were showing everybody that they still had something. A lot of these players were cut by the NFL. Some were not even in the draft, and they were showing the NFL like, we could fucking do it. We can play. And it just it bothered me. It bothered me that they threw in the towel. Like, they just, and I wanted to buy like a lot of XFL Battlehawk stuff. I wanted to buy the t-shirt, the hat, a jersey. Like, I was on fucking board with this. Even from the beginning, I was like, I can't wait. Like, the Battlehawks. Like, I was doing my Vince McMahon impression. But it bothered me. Like, they threw in a towel, and it was the shadiest, unethical way ever. Like, and the thing is, like, there were several ideas that McMahon could have done to, like, he was, like, what I read was, like, he lost, like, $44 million. $44 million. Less money than he lost in the first time around with the XFL. Like, he could have gotten that money back if he just sold the teams to investors. Like, he could have, like, done with, like, Major League Soccer. He could have just put, like, investors in there. Like, you want this team? All right, you got it. That could have worked. But they didn't. And he could have just done that. He could have just was like, okay, you want the teams, here's... And they could have just done it like Major League Soccer. But they didn't. He didn't want to do it. Sorry, I was responding to a text. But he didn't. He just was like, I'm done, I'm out, bam. And the most fucked up thing about it was they could have still played the games. I mean, empty stadium. I mean, fucking Major League Baseball is already talking about starting the season in May, which is kind of too late. Like, you missed a month. Hello. Yeah. Good luck. Thank you, love. The thing that I know I'm supposed to talk about comics, but I feel like talking about sports for a bit. Like, I just feel like talking about baseball and stuff. I talked about the XFL. I missed the XFL. But they could have played in an empty stadium. They could have had, like, okay, we're going to have the coach, we're going to have the offensive line, defensive line in a booth area, like, they could have done that. But they didn't. Instead, he was just like, well, coronavirus came. We're done. Like, that's what bothered me, was just how McMahon just cut it off. Like, and now, he of course didn't pay Oliver Luck the contract money that he was owed. Like, McMahon said, like, if I remember correctly, he said once, like, there's 3 seasons. He was committed for 3 seasons with Fox, ESPN, and all that. Motherfucker lied. Like, I love Dark Side of the Ring, the show Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. It is really fucking good show. It's It's a documentary series about different wrestlers. They did Devon Eriks, Bruiser Brody, Macho Man, and Miss Elizabeth. Ooh, yeah. Um, and what else? They did, now they recently did in the show, like, Jimmy Snuka, New Jack, which that one was actually entertaining, but at the same time kind of scary, because he stabbed a man in the ring. Like, let's see. The Bruiser Brody one was depressing to sit through. Like, that one was just... They did recently Dino Bravo, which was fucking good. Dino Bravo one, it was a good one, but it was also sad. They did the Benoit one. The Chris Benoit one hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, that was just a difficult two-parter to sit through, because you're learning about this dude who you watched wrestle so many times, and you're learning what happened behind. And that's the thing that's so great about Dark Side of the Ring, was this. It was just how interesting outside the wrestling ring is, instead of in it. Like, when you learn what happens behind the scenes, like the New Jack, for example, the mass transit incident, the Von Erichs, difficult relationship with their dad, the Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, the Eddie Guerrero part, that one was tough to sit through. Like, he had 3 ODs. He overdosed on drugs 3 times, and it was just like, whoa. Like, it was interesting, but the Snuka one that stood out to me was Vince McMahon offering to pay the family that Jimmy Snuka supposedly killed. I wouldn't say supposedly, I probably think he did, but pay the family $25,000 to stay silent. Like, that was fucked up. And hearing this, I'm thinking, like, if I was the producers of Dark Side of the Ring, I'd be like, you know what? We should just do an entire season on Vince McMahon. Because that dude's fucking crazy. In an entertaining way, but also in a slightly disturbing way. Like, for example, the steroid trial. I mean, I wouldn't say Vince McMahon's fucking crazy. I pretty much say the entire McMahon family in general are crazy. I mean, slightly a little bit lesser crazy than my family, but, kind of entertaining. But he went on the steroid trial and claimed victory over the government. Which was dumb to say that. Then turn around, and Stephanie McMahon at the 9/11 tribute show compared her dad's trial on steroids to 9/11. How fucking dumb are you of an individual? I mean, that was just like, I remember seeing that, and I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Even when I was a kid, I was thinking, like, this is stupid. Idiotic. Insensitive. And I think that was like the last time I ever watched WWE for a while. And, until I heard about the Benoit thing, I was thinking, like, shit. I remember the Eddie Guerrero one, the tribute show, and seeing Chris Benoit, like, break down. And it was kind of, like, sad, and looking back on it, it was just kind of like, was that a warning sign? Like, so, anyway, back to the XFL thing. I still think he should have sold the teams to investors in cities. I believe he should have. If he was going like, I lost $44 million, you could have made some of that money back. Probably make all that money back just by selling those teams to investors. You proved your point that you could put a winning product on the field with competitive teams. But you didn't want to do it. And that's why part of me believes, now in this conspiracy theory, I said it before, was I believe he took the amount of money he got from investors in the XFL and put it into WWE. That's what I believe. I mean, some of the players, if Oliver Luck didn't get his $20 million in his contract, why do I believe that some of the players, or probably the players and coaches there, didn't get paid? Like, and McMahon's a shady motherfucker. I mean, he bought the WCW video library, which is worth about $1 billion, and bought not only that, but the entire company for $2 million. Then the person who that sold it to him ends up getting hired to run WWE studios. Their entirety of shitty movies. Like, why do I believe that? Like, why do I believe McMahon did something shady? I mean, that's what he did. I mean, wrestling territories were put out of, not put out, but forced out of business because McMahon was buying up contracts, buying people, telling them, don't go to these shows. I'll give you this money. Don't go to those shows. That's pretty much what he did. So Oliver Luck is suing McMahon for $20 million, and I actually hope he wins it. I mean, the trial will probably be in Connecticut, which is McMahon's turf, so it'd probably be an uphill battle, but, sad part is there's no football in St. Louis anymore, so that's what sucks. And there isn't any sports, like there's no baseball. I mean, right now the Cardinals will be playing in an hour or so. And, that's what sucks the most, is like there's no baseball, there's no hockey. We're still the Stanley Cup champions, but it's more fun that we're defending it than we're defending champs, and now we're just sitting at home. That's the thing that kind of sucks the most, is like, I like right now I'd be watching baseball, like, seeing Adam Wainwright's final season, then he retires. I mean, that's what kind of sucks is not seeing, and I mean, now they're talking about, like, they're going to start the season in May. And for me, as much as I love baseball, it just wouldn't feel right. Like, they're talking about 3 cities, Texas, Arizona, and Florida. And it just would not feel right. Because you have Busch Stadium, which is the greatest baseball stadium in the world. Debate me on that if you want. But how could you watch the Cardinals play in either Florida, Texas, or Arizona when you have the most beautiful baseball stadium sit empty throughout the summer and to the fall if we make it to the playoffs? Like, how would that even work? It just wouldn't feel right. It would just feel empty, and it just wouldn't be the same, and I think that's what kind of it is with Enterprise Stadium. I was going to say Scottrade Center, but Enterprise Center, or Stadium, I forget what they call it. The Enterprise Center, I think it's what it's called. and the Blues aren't playing. I'm not the biggest hockey aficionado, but I mean, I'm not like my sister who will probably, I never played hockey with her. Like, I played basketball with her, and I got elbowed in the face. Which was kind of funny, though. Bam! And I'm like 9 years old. She's like, get up. So it was kind of funny, though. Yeah, my sister gets like really into like sports. That she's like, soccer. She was a killer, but I mean, she's the same person who ran a fucking marathon at like 6 a.m. I am not making this up. She got up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and ran a fucking marathon in the city at 6 a.m. I'm just sitting on the sidelines, just like I'm tired. And I'm just sitting there like tired and like, and all of a sudden she comes right at the finish line and she goes, "Oh, that was a great run." I was like, I don't know. I was like, "Yeah, it's a great run." She goes, "You need to do it next time." I'm like, "No, I'm too fat to run." And she goes, you could run." I was like, "No." I'd be like, if there was ever a like Star Wars, they need a fat stormtrooper where I would play it and I'd be like, like see the fat stormtrooper lift his helmet up, take a puff of his cigarette, and go like, "I fucking hate the Empire." Put the helmet back on and start running again. Like that would be fun. If it was a bike race, then probably I would do it. I would do it, if it was a bike race. The point is, I'm sitting. So, I would think about it. Like, if I had, like, if they include walking, I would do it. But the bad thing about it is, if I ever had to do a marathon, I do not want to be speed walked by a grandma, okay? Like, if I was walking in this marathon instead of running, and people are cheering and stuff, and all of a sudden a fucking 70-year-old lady passes me by, at that point I would just throw in a towel and be like, "Fuck it, I'm done." And just, walk the sidelines, like, open up the gate, I'm walking past, I'm done. That's where I would be. Like, I would be done with this marathon if I got passed by a 70-year-old. Like, that would be me at that point. So let's get into the stories. Diamond tells retailers to complete new DC FOC by Monday night. And the new distributor war continues of 2020. Diamond Comics Distributors is still in shutdown until mid-May. Over concerns of their employees has undergo cleaning and immediately implementing new policies. But DC has brought 2 new distributors formed by two of the bigger comic book stores to get their comics out by earlier. First, DC said that all DC orders through Diamond had been removed. Diamond said it wasn't true. And then DC said it was true, and that Diamond agreed with them. But retailers could put their orders back with Diamond if they really, really wanted. Okay, that's weird. So, I think DC's like done. I mean, not done, like done and it's like they're over, but I think they're just done with Diamond in general. So shit, man, there's a lot of books that are put in orders. Like, It's kind of bad for the... It's bad for the stores, because they just basically bottomed up, basically lost money over it. So all these titles that were ordered are set to 0. Action Comics 1022, not missing much. Aquaman 59. Basket of Heads, number 7 of 7. Batgirl 46. Batman 89, third printing. Batman 92. Batman 92, one of Punchline's cards stocked by Jaimez. Batman 93. Batman and the Outsiders. Batman Beyond. Batman Giant, number 4. Batman Superman, number 9. Book of Magic. Catwoman 22. Catwoman, the 80th anniversary, 100-page. Super spectacular. I cannot wait to get that one. There's different ones. There's the regular cover. There's the 1940s Adam Hughes, 1950s Travis one, 1960s Jay Scott. I want to get that one. 1970s Frank Cho. I want to get that one. I think I want the Frank Cho one. 80s Stanley. 90s Gabriella. 2005 Jim Lee. Never mind. I will get the 2005 one. 2010s. The blank variant where you get like any artist to draw. And the 80th Paper Masks, which I really want to get one of those. Let's see. DC Superstars, DC Deceased Unkillables, number 3 of 3. Detective Comics 1022. I need to get that one. Dollhouse Family, never read it. Dreaming Event. Flash 753. Flash Giant number 4. Green Lantern Season 2, Episode 3. Harley Quinn, He-Man, Hawkman, Constantine, House of Whispers. Joker and Harley, Criminally Insane, they could keep that shit. Justice League, 44, 45, Justice League Dark, Justice League Odyssey, too many Justice Leagues. Lois Lane, Low Woods, never heard of it. Nightwing, Red Hood and Outlaw, Robin, Robbie, 7 of 7. Oh man, that's a miniseries? Damn. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Shazam, Superman, Strange Adventures, Suicide Squad, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, Wonder Woman. Yep, basically it's all of them. Those are... I would hate to sound like a jerk, but there's a few books that kind of stand out to me that I want to buy, and the rest of them I just really have no interest in, sadly. It's kind of sad though. It's like, when you look at a lot of the comic books, there aren't really any books that, speak to you. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever like looked through books that are out, and none of them speak to you. Like, I remember going into V-Stock. It was before I went back to Dark Side Comics and Games, and it was before the pandemic thing, like before everything shut down, and wham, you're stuck in the Twilight Zone. And I remember just sitting there looking and looking and looking at all the books at V-Stock, and none of them really stood out to me. None of them really spoke to me. Like, I gotta get this book. It looks really, really good. Um, until I went over to Dark Side, I was like, yeah, I find some books and stuff. But the point I'm making is, like, all those books I read, a few of them stand out to me that I want to buy. And the rest of them I just really don't particularly care for. I mean, Superman Action Comics, obviously. That's an elephant in a room. Wonder Woman. The Harley Quinn books I really don't like. I bought like a couple. Like, I remember there was a Harley Quinn issues with Catwoman. And they were doing like this Game of Thrones type thing. Dungeons and Dragons type thing. It was really entertaining and fun. But afterwards, I just didn't buy Harley Quinn because I don't particularly care for the character that much. And the sad part is like, the character in season 2 so far in the show is basically a bitch. Like, I don't know. This Harley Quinn now on the TV, on the animated series, is just, she is just obnoxiously, what is the word? Obnoxiously annoying. And the other characters around her are far more interesting than Harley herself. Like, the Mr. Freeze episode aggravated me. Like, and I kind of had this feeling like once they killed Penguin off, I just immediately thought like they just basically killed their show. And Penguin isn't that, Penguin is an okay character. But when they started killing the character off, I'm just like, they basically killed the show. And I know there's going to be some people like, well, it's Harley. It's Harley's show. And it's like, fuck Harley. Harley doesn't make Gotham at all. And stuff. And the characters in Gotham make the show what it is. I mean, they're characters that are legendary. And basically Harley, like, everybody always keeps saying like Harley and Ivy need to be together, they need to be in love, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, why the fuck do you want to tie down one character just to fulfill your fantasies and your Tumblr posts? Like, I don't care for Poison Ivy at all. I'm a Catwoman man, basically. But I love Kite Man and Poison Ivy together because they kind of are funny and they're both opposites. Basically, they're opposite characters. You have Kite Man, who's this more laid back, chilled, almost like a stoner type character. And you have Poison Ivy, who's kind of like this tight, character who is, not expressive and outgoing like Kite Man. And that's what makes it interesting and funny. Harley is just basically this character who gets out of square one, goes outside the box, then goes back in the box. Like, she's all about, I'm gonna, take over Gotham, kill everybody, then back to square one, which is, Joker and I never had that kind of relationship and stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, get the fuck out of the box for once. Just, and stuff. Like, the episode I really enjoyed and the first season that involved Harley was her parents, her family, and all that. Like, that was fucking funny and entertaining. Because you kind of get to know bits and pieces about the character and stuff. And, and I think the one part of the show, of the Harley Quinn show, that is missing, oddly enough, is the Joker. I know that sounds stupid, but the Joker kind of made the show interesting. And I think now, as weird as it is, and I'm going to point this out, is when Joker was on the show, it was basically this balancing act that you get to see between Harley and the Joker. This balancing. They balance each other. Kind of like how Batman and Catwoman are. They balance each other. And once Joker, you take Joker out of that element, there's no balancing. It's just falling. Basically. Everything's unorganized, not balanced. And I think for me, that's what is disappointing about the show, is that there's no balancing in the show. It's like all over the place. It's like, Harley goes after Penguin, kills Penguin. Then Harley's going after Riddler, which was an interesting episode, by the way. Batgirl, Gordon, those two basically made the episode great. And Catwoman showing up, which was fun and exciting. And Catwoman leaves them to die. which I loved. I love that part. Like, that part made me smile. Like, I was just like, I wish Batman showed up. That's what could have been so fun, just to watch that. And the thing that bothered me was, it was just that they never brought up Batman. They sort of like wrote him out, like he didn't exist, which basically pissed me off. Then they brought in Mr. Freeze, which I was so excited as well to see. I was like, alright, you got Batgirl, you got Catwoman, alright, you got Mr. Freeze, this is gonna be fun. And all of a sudden, Freeze dies. And my reaction to it was basically, I was basically sort of like, hold on, I'm responding to a text message. Yeah, charging me so much for internet. It is slow. My reaction to it was basically, kind of like, I was basically annoyed and aggravated with it. And my reaction to the whole Harley Quinn thing was, Ashtray, bitch! And he wouldn't leave. Whoops, that wasn't it. I love that movie, by the way. I watched it again. That scene was just basically the best part of that movie, and I'm thinking like, I'm basically thinking like, I was basically thinking like, imagine all of a sudden Thanos is like getting ready to snap the finger. All of a sudden you hear, "Ashtray, bitch!" And all of a sudden, like, that would have thrown Thanos off. Like, that would have been so awesome. But now my reaction to Freeze dying was basically like Cartman in South Park, which was basically,
motherfucker.
Like, that was my reaction to it. I was not happy with Freeze dying, and I know some people are like, well, he saved Nora. That's what mattered. It's like, no. What Freeze wanted was to save Nora and have everything go back to the things were before she was sick. He was happy. He wanted happiness back. He wanted to, feel her hand touch his face. That's basically what Freeze wanted. was Nora to be cured and come back to him. That's what Freeze wanted. He didn't... Like, that was a thing in the show that aggravated me, was like when they killed Freeze off. They killed off one of the best characters that has such a story that you relate to it, but does bad things. Things that he wouldn't do, but he was at that point where his back was against the wall, and there was nothing left for him to do except do things that he wouldn't do. And you had Alfred Molina do the voice of Mr. Freeze, which was genius. And you basically killed off a character that I really am a fan of. I was such a big fan of Mr. Freeze. I still am. But I was so aggravated that they killed that character off. And they gave it such a shitty ending. Like, they made a light humor of like, oh, he died, and Nora's like crying and they're just cracking jokes, and Harley's like, me and Joker never had that. It's just like, shut the fuck up. And stuff. And it scares the shit out of me now that Batman's going to be reappearing in the show. I'm thinking, oh, fucking great, what are they going to do? Kill him off too? Yeah. It just bugs the fuck out of me. It's like, how did you go from like one good first season to like now you're kind of making me not want to see it. I still want to see it, but part of me just is like, I'm kind of cringing on wanting to see what happens next. But anyway, so, let's get to the script. I'm kind of scaring myself a bit of like wanting to read the script. Last time we were in the Batman Year One script. Let's see. Yeah, we went past the Loeb news anchor Brian. Gordon's hostage situation. Yep, we read the Bruce Wayne narration part. Alright. Let's get it going. Back at the interior Dutton Heights housing projects moments later, Gordon creaks up the stairs. He approaches the door that says roof. He eases it open. The scruffy gunman yells at the news helicopters. Gunman, no identifying marks. A million losers never finish. His blonde hair, going gray, sticks out his lips as he screams, "Spider nasty. Don't noise it. No grenade launch." What? Okay. Gordon steps out on the roof. Hands open in front of him. Gunman has a 9mm pressed into the little boy's mouth. He holds the child against his own chest. If he fires, it will kill the child and himself. The terrified child cries for his mother. Gordon, hi. My name is Jim. Gordon steps forward to shake hands. The guy freaks out. Gunman, loudmouth fraud. Liberty is an ape. And Leela woke up from her nap. Hold on, let me go see what she's doing. Alright, I'm here. Never imagine I have to hear a dog wake up, start barking, and go and comfort it. So anyway. Alright, Liberty is an ape thing. TV news cameras circle overhead, capturing the whole scene. Gunman. So I say to him. Gordon points to the sky, acting angry. Bad helicopters. Meanwhile, back in interior Bruce's apartment, day. Bruce continues his letter. Voiceover. Bruce. Please tell me what to do, Father. I'm afraid. Bruce picks up the wooden box. He stares at it for a long time. A moment, then suddenly throws it against the wall. Smack. It smashes the vacuum tube of an electric project. Pop, pop, pop. Overload circuits burn out. More equipment. Sparks explodes from the Bloom fuse box. Bruce screaming, "Tell me what to do!" And shower down onto the floor. The workshop plummets into darkness except for one TV. It casts an airy blue glow. Bruce looks over the TV news on the TV. Gordon is on the roof with the gunman. The gunman recoils, spins, looking around, frantic. Gordon eases closer while he's distracted by the lightning. Gunman, we're rich again. Gordon, what is your medication? You have to trust your doctors. Trust in the system. Bad choice of words. Gordon slides closer to the gunman with every word. Gunman, nice toilet. I love Miller's choices of words to use. But I'm serious about this one. The comic book version where Gordon has to negotiate with the dangerous gunman is more interesting than this one. I'm just saying, the comic's always better. Gordon, everything will be fine if you just follow the program. But Gordon's words seem hollow. They have no effect on the gunman. The gunman, I'll change him with my love. The gunman jams the 9mm further into the child's mouth. He's about to pull the trigger. The hammer starts to go back. Gordon acts without thinking. Throws a right cross. Crunch. Dropping the gunman, knocking away the 9mm. Just as bang. He pulls the trigger, missing the child. Bruce Wayne's apartment, day. Bruce flinches at the sound of gunshot. Exterior, Dutton Heights housing project roof. TV news cameras frame a closer shot. The gunman is lying on the roof. Reaches for the child, arms stretched out, smash cut. The Grand Theater, night. Bruce's father lies in a puddle of blood. An arm reaching out for young Bruce. He grabs the boy's hand and close something inside them. Father, weakening your inheritance. Use it wisely, son. Young Bruce kneels in silence with his dying parents. Smash cut to Dutton Heights projects rooftop, day. Gordon is on top of the gunman, raining punches down on his face. Pow, 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 until the gunman stops struggling for the little boy. Interior Bruce's apartment moments later. Bruce is entranced by what he sees on TV. Exterior, Dutton housing project's roof. Moments later, Gordon, with the little boy on his hip, emerges from the building to cheers as the crowd, as lightning, Gotham sky lets loose of the torment of rain on the dirty city. TV news media ignores the storms and mobs Gordon. Jam a camera in his face. Bruce watches. Reporters. You were the reporters. You were against direct orders from the commissioner. Why did you follow the normal police procedures? Gordon, I don't like what passes for normal in this town. Crime is normal in Gotham. Corruption is normal. The scum of the city has taken so much from us, our youth, our families. I declare war on crime. Points into the camera. Now you must fight back for what's been lost. Damn. Same time, Bruce's apartment. Day. Words are a revelation to Bruce. He tears himself away from the TV, digs wildly through the burning electricities, until he has scorched wooden box in his shaking fist. Bruce, now I understand. He rips open the wooden box, revealing his father's heavy silver sight ring, balled in an old newspaper. It bears the initials T and W. Bruce runs out the door with the wooden box and up on the roof. Up on exterior, Bruce's rooftop. Over Bruce's apartment moments later, lightning, sheets of rain fall on Bruce's face as he slides the insignia rings in his wet fingers, screaming into the storm. Bruce, thank you, Father, thank you. I know what I must do. I prefer the comic book. Like when he's sitting in the chair and he's looking at the sculpt statue head of his dad, and all of a sudden the bat lays on top of the head. Like, that was a fun version. That was like an interesting take, because like Bruce is dying and he's like, he got, of course, I think shot, and he's bleeding out, and he's like trying to figure out what he should do, whether die or become Batman, and he chooses basically to become Batman. That was a fun one. This one's just like a cheap version. I'm sorry. This is cheap. Like, this is a loser cheap of like, I shall become, I don't know, but I have rings. Like, that was fucking dumb. I'm happy they made Batman Begins. Like, if they made this movie, I'd be like, so like, it's just like, you know what, let Batman end with Clooney. Until somebody knows what to do. And they did get somebody that basically revolutionized comic book movies. Like, you know. Of course, you gotta give credit to Sam Raimi and the people who did X-Men, not the guy who directed it, but the people who did X-Men, you know. Cut to Dutton Heights housing projects. Seconds later, we hear thunder. Gordon extracted himself from the thorn of the media, who turns to Loeb reporters. What are you going to do? What's going through your head? Why did you try to stop Detective Gordon from saving the child? Loeb, uncomfortable. I assure you, I had no intentions of... Gordon heard enough, turning away. He smiles and lights up a Marlboro cigarette as he walks. I'm sure somebody's like, what a douchebag. A patrolman jogs up to him. Patrolman, sir, your gun. He hands over Gordon's service revolver. The one he had put in his mouth. Patrolman, it looks like you're finished. It looks like you finished has a worn off barrel. Gordon, I guess it's time for a new gun, huh? Gordon takes the weapon and he heads to his car. East End sidewalk next day. Bruce is dressed in an overcoat. Waits in the doorway while Chi-Chi is talking to a skinny girl in fishnet stockings. Good God. I'll be honest with you, I sometimes wonder what goes through Miller's mind at times. Chi-Chi, I don't care if you're pregnant with the second coming of Christ. I made the appointment and you'll be there. This is like something out of the 70s. Bruce voiceover. October 4th. Father, the trail begins with the pimp. He's the only guppy swimming in this cesspool, but he knows where she is. I must find her. Chi-Chi leaves the skinny girl crying. I sometimes question why Miller does things. Bruce, voiceover. She used me to kill the man. And the murder is not allowed. Chi-Chi passes Bruce's doorway. 4 deep scratches across his cheek. Bruce steps out. Chi-Chi, oh, the retard. Get lost, Bruce. Where's Selena? Chi-Chi, Selena? She's good as dead by now. Come around tomorrow. I'll have another dominatrix by then. Bruce, I don't want her for that. Sorry, I'm just I have to do jokes. Reading a script, you have to make humor. Chi-Chi, yeah, that's not what it looked like the other night. You guys got a little carried away with your games, huh? Chi-Chi said. Bruce, you were there. You let her get away? Chi-Chi points the fingers on his cheek. Yeah, she got away. But they'll find her. She'll fry for killing that cop. Bruce grabs Chi-Chi. You're going to help me find her. Initially, Chi-Chi stabs at Bruce with a switchblade. Bruce floats to the side, stomps the pimp's knee, crunch, bending it in a way knees were never meant to bend. The pimp withers in pain, going to the ground. Chi-Chi, you psycho. I know you. I seen your face, man. You can't hide. Bruce walks away. Voiceover. So it begins. I will not let you down. Your loving son, Bruce. He's got a new spring in his step. I'm glad Bruce is talking. Jeez, like... Channel 1 Eyewitness News runs a special report. The anchors deliver lines under the title, Super Cop. This is like something out of the 70s. I gotta be honest with you. This is like something out of the 70s, like movies and stuff, like cheesy, like, and stuff, like. This isn't like Batman. This is like Frank Miller's 70s interpretation of Batman. Like, that's kind of how I imagine it now. Anchor Brian. Detective James Gordon wowed the city of Gotham by single-handedly rescuing a small child from the hands of an escaped mental patient and possibly avoiding needless bloodshed and mayhem at the hands of this city's notoriously violent SWAT team. His comments to the press highlight a growing rift between various departments within the police force. He hinted at charges of police corruption and promised to wage one-man war on crime. I don't know about you, Sandy, but this reporter finds such straight talk very refreshing. Go Aker Jan. Indeed, Brian, now let's look at sports. I love how they just like... It kind of reminds me of Dark Knight Returns. Another Miller thing, because in the Miller Dark Knight Returns, it was all about cable news and the rise of cable news and all that. And when Dark Knight 3 came around, it was about social media and social media everything. And, you know, it's kind of like what's intriguing about the script is like Miller is sort of like going, I mean, yeah, in Batman Year One there was news reports of like Bruce Wayne's return to Gotham and all that, but this one kind of reminds me of Dark Knight Returns for some odd reason. Like, you know, we pull back wider to see the TV plays in Gordon's apartment evening. Gordon and sorry. He always used Gordon. I'm just going to say Jim. Jim and Ann are watching on the sofa. Ann is stunned. Ann, this is a big deal. They're going to want you on talk shows. You know, you're going to need a new suit. Jim laughs. Let's go celebrate. Ann, honey, we can't. It's late. We've already eaten. Jim, then let's go get a drink. Ann laughs. Jim, hello. I'm with a child. Jim, oh, sorry, right. Then dinner, Friday. Let's La Bonne Manson sound. Ann, oh, fancy. It's a date. Ann pulls her husband down on top of her, kissing him. Interior, Bruce's apartment, night. TV news play. God, I'm so tired of the news. TV news plays. In the background, Bruce applies a fake scar on his cheek. That's out of the Dark Knight. That's out of Batman Year One. Bruce did that the first time when he was going to walk through the city. Yeah, scoping out the places, seeing the enemy on the ground, you know, type of thing. I like that. That's pretty cool. Bruce voiceover. Another letter. November 8th. Dear Father, the pimp knew my face. A distracting scar hopefully will mask my identity. Bruce puts on the overcoat and a wide-brimmed concealing hat. A wide-brimmed concealing hat. Bruce, voiceover. Tonight, I begin your revenge. I will rid this city of its cancer. I will draw the scum to me and make them pay. Bruce holds up his fists onto it. Bruce, Father, tonight I'm declaring war. Your loving son, Bruce. His father's signet ring. Exterior, East End Park, night. Bruce has a Taurus map in his hands. He acts lost. A pair of muggers sought her out of the night. They circle. Mugger 1. Need help, mister? Maybe you're lost. Bruce says nothing, just soaks in the atmosphere of violence. Mugger 1. You could use a guide to show you where the bad places are. Mugger 2. Yeah, to protect you from the bad elements. Bruce cracks a smile. Mugger 2. We'll take care of you, mister, but you have to give us a tip. He holds out his hand. Now, money. One assailant becomes impatient and shoves Bruce. There is no delay because the effect shoves a spark. What? Oh. There is no delay because the effect. He shoves sparks. Oh my god, I gotta read this one. This is just Miller. So, alrighty. Anyway, let me pause real quick. I gotta get a drink because my voice is dry. So, hold on. So, anyway, let's see. I gotta look up articles. We're gonna probably finish the rest of the script tomorrow. Hold on. We're gonna probably finish the rest of it tomorrow. Anyway, let's go look at... I found some interesting articles on the phantomsandmonsters.com website. I've heard like they have like some interesting new stories and stuff. But there's one article I also want to talk about as well. This involves Rocksteady. Rocksteady Studios, the makers of the Arkham trilogy. Rumor is that Warner Brothers turned down Rocksteady's pitch for a Superman video game. So, let's get to this interesting article right here. Multiple sources, multiple reports and sources stated that WB Games were seriously considering that the Rocksteady canceled Superman video game before things seemed promising. I remember hearing about it several times about the So, I've heard several things about it. Warner Brothers said no, which is very odd. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like, a Superman video game would be interesting to see. But, you know, there's several characters I really, really want to see made into a video game. The Flash. I really want to see a Flash video game. I want to see a new Batman video game, of course, you know. Batman Beyond would be interesting. You know, Superman would be. I honestly think if Rocksteady made a Superman video game, it would be really, really good. I think that they show with like Arkham Knight that they can do it. They can make a really interesting new Superman video game. Because Superman is such a very difficult character in a video game. You know, like Superman 64 was very ambitious. And you know, Superman 64 at that time didn't have the technology and the graphics and the video game engine to, you know, look like Red Dead Redemption 2. But man, I fucking hate that video game, Superman 64. I hate it with a passion. Superman Returns showed what they could do, you know, and now I think with all the graphics, the video game engine, everything that they can make with it, they could make a really damn good Superman video game. And it's a shame that Warner Brothers didn't want to pull the trigger and make a Superman video game. Right now, no one honestly knows what the hell they're doing. I mean, WB Montreal hinted at another Batman video game, which I am excited for. Court of Owls. It'd be fun. I still want to see, you know, Telltale Batman Season 3. I want to see a third season. You know, so for me, as a fan, I really want to see Rocksteady make a Superman video game, a Flash video game. You know, those are the things I kind of want to see. So, anyway, we're going to be wrapping up the podcast. So, anyway, I will see you all tomorrow, actually. I will do another episode tomorrow. We're kind of going back to things kind of are. But there won't be an episode Friday. We're going to be, you know, doing things Friday. Hold on, let me think about it. Yeah, Friday, there won't be an episode because my nephew's birthday is Friday, so I'm going to be hanging out with Robin. So, anyway, I will see you guys, you know, tomorrow, and, yeah. So, See y'all tomorrow.